Hello and welcome back to the channel. In this short video, we're going to be learning the difference between the print and the println statements in Java. Now we already know how to print something. We can create a println statement using this syntax and just add whatever we want in these brackets. Here I'm just adding the word hello in these double quotes. When I run this program, it's just going to print that word hello for me. Now if I want, I could also print numbers. I could print something like 35. When I run this program, it's just going to print 35 again. Now what's important is that in Java, a println statement is not the only way to print something. I can also use what's called a print statement. And in some cases, a print statement might be a little more useful than println statements. If I take a print statement over here, you notice if I run this program, it's going to give us the same output as before. It's going to give us 35. Then what really is the difference between a print and a println statement? To understand this difference, let's add a couple of println statements and see what happens. So over here, I added three println statements. The first println statement is basically printing the word hello. The second one is printing the word world, and the third one is just printing println. Now, if I run this, what output would you expect? You notice that when I run this, we're just going to get hello in one line, world in a different line, and println in a different line. To understand this output, we need to understand how exactly a println statement works. To understand that, for now, just imagine that this was our output window. This is where you would see your output. When you take a println statement, if this is the cursor that's actually printing the value, after Java prints something using a println statement, the cursor always moves to the next line. To understand this, let's write the output for these three statements over here. Now, if this was a cursor that was printing the values, after it prints the word hello, since I'm using a println statement, the cursor moves to the next line. And then when I print the word world, instead of printing it over here, since the cursor is now on the next line, it's going to print world on this next line. Now this is also a println statement. This means that the cursor again moves to the next line. And now when I add this other println statement to print println, it's just going to print println over here. This is also a println statement. So the cursor will again move on and wait in this next line. This basically means that if I add another print statement or a println statement over here, since the cursor is waiting on this line, it's just going to print that something on this line. Now we'll convert all of these statements into print statements and see what happens. Now that all our three statements are print statements, when I run this program, we know that all three of them will print the values. But the way they format the output is a bit different. When I run this program, you notice that all three words are basically placed side by side. To understand this, let's again look at the output window and try to evaluate the output. When we use a print statement, after Java prints something, the cursor will always remain on the same line. The line does not change. So when I'm using a print statement over here to print the word hello, we're going to print the word hello and the cursor won't move to the next line. It's going to stay on the same line. So then when I print the word world, it's just going to print world over here beside hello, and the cursor will again remain on the same line because this is a print statement, not a println statement. And then when I add println, Java is going to print println, and like before, the cursor will remain on this same line. Because of this, we see that our output is placed side by side. We get hello, world, and then println on the same line. Now what if I make this a println statement while everything else remains as a print statement? We'll first try to predict the output. So this is a print statement. So we're going to print the word hello and the cursor will remain on the same line. Then we're going to print the word world. So we're going to print the word world. And now since this is a println statement, the line is going to change. The cursor will move on to the next line. And now when I print println, Java is just going to print println on the next line. Let's run this program and see if we get the same output. When I run this program, you notice that we do indeed get the same output. I added a double quotes here just to make it clear that we are dealing with words, but you notice that the output is the same. After we print hello and world, the cursor shifts to the next line because we're using a println statement over here. Now what happens after we print the last line? Here we're using a print statement, meaning after we print println, the cursor will now remain on the same line. So if I add another print statement after this, since the cursor is still on this line, we would see some output on the same line. We can show this by printing the word print by using a println statement. After printing println, the cursor is going to remain on the same line because this is a print statement. When I add this println statement, it's just going to print the word print, and since this is now a println statement, the cursor will move on to the next line. When I run this program, we should see this output. And if you notice, that is indeed exactly what we get. We get hello world on the first line and println print on the next line. The difference is not too hard. Just remember that the ln in a println means line. This means that the cursor will move to the next line. A print basically means that the cursor stays on the same line. That's all you need to know about print and println statements. Thank you for watching and have a great day.